They're here to tell their story, and frankly, I think they're brave individuals for being willing to come after they've been named in a letter from the Biden FTC.
Is this your question time now?
No, I'm responding to your ridiculous statements you made in your opening statement.
Okay, well, let's get on with it.
Oh, now we want to get on with it. So you can say all the things you want, and I point out the
I did in my
facts.
opening statement, as well as you had an opening statement. You said what you needed to say in your opening statement, and I, as the ranking member, have used my time.
Welcome back to the show. What we are witnessing in Washington right now is an absolute masterclass in institutional panic. This weaponization committee hearing was supposed to be about transparency and protecting the First Amendment. Instead, it exposed a terrifying double standard. Democrats claim they want to protect democracy, but the second investigative journalists expose elite deep state censorship through the Twitter files. Those same politicians weaponize their positions. Ranking member Stacey Plaskett actually came out and labeled these highly respected independent journalists as safety threats simply for doing their jobs. Think about the constitutional implications of that. But Chairman Jim Jordan didn't let it slide. He stepped up, turned the tables, and revealed a shocking Federal Trade Commission inquiry targeted directly at these reporters. It's the ultimate example of bureaucratic overreach, and when the left got caught, they tried to immediately change the subject. You have to see the raw, unedited panic for yourself. If you want honest, conservative analysis exposing government overreach without the mainstream media spin, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now. Let's roll the tape.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not exaggerating when I say that you have called before you two witnesses who pose a direct threat to people who oppose them. It's funny when people have to go through that. Exactly. This is unacceptable. I'm ready for it. I don't know if a lot of other people are. But just as it was unacceptable for Kevin McCarthy to provide 41,000 hours of sensitive security footage to a biased talking head in an effort to rewrite what happened on January 6th. This is a new Republican playbook, apparently. Risk American safety and security to score political points.
The gentlelady's word should be struck. We do not accuse witnesses of threatening others. That is out of line and outside the rules of this committee.
That, and I can have an
you
opinion
don't get to determine what's struck down.
Well, you do get an opening statement, and it's about over.
The committee will suspend.
We know this is because at the first hearing, the chairman claimed that big government and big tech colluded to shape and mold the narrative and suppress information and censor Americans. This is a false narrative. We're engaging in false narratives here, and we are going to tell the truth. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. I would just point out the consent decree was in our report. We offered your staff also the opportunity to review the FTC letters. You have not come over to review those letters. Third, the idea that I believe both of these individuals who are getting ready to testify, I believe they're both Democrats. The idea that two journalists who happen to be Democrats—
Did you not give that offer at 8 o'clock last night?
I'm talking now. Your time was ended a few seconds ago.
Neither of us are in time.
I don't think they're here to help us politically. I think they're here to tell us the truth. And oh, by the way, the first FTC letter to Twitter after the first set of Twitter files, the very first question was, who are the journalists you're talking to? And you guys don't care. You don't care.
You don't want the 2011
people to see.
consent decree?
You don't want the American people to see what happened, the full video, transparency. You don't want that, and you don't want two journalists who have been named personally by the Biden administration, FTC, in a letter.
The Biden administration.
And you're saying they're here to help us? They're here to tell their story. And frankly, I think they're brave individuals for being willing to come after they've been named in a letter from the Biden FTC.
Is this your question time now?
No, I'm responding to your ridiculous statements you made in your opening statement.
Okay, well, let's get on with it.
Oh, now we want to get on with it. So you can say all the things you want, and I point out the
I did in my
facts.
opening statement, as well as you had an opening statement. You said what you needed to say in your opening statement, and I, as the ranking member, have used my time.
Without objection, all other opening statements will be included in the record. We will introduce today's witness, Matt Taibbi. He's a journalist and author. He's one of the authors of the Twitter files, previously worked for Rolling Stone, that right-wing publication, Rolling Stone, where so many Republicans work at. He's also written several books about American politics and culture. And of course, as I pointed out, as the Wall Street Journal pointed out yesterday on the front page, was named by the FTC Oh, Michael Schellenberger is also a journalist, author, and one of the authors of the Twitter Files. He's also co-founded several nonprofits, including Breakthrough Institute, Environmental Progress, and the California...
Unbelievable. Unbelievable, folks. Welcome back to the main breakdown. Let's dissect exactly what just happened, because that exchange perfectly encapsulates the current battle for free speech in America. We saw a complete breakdown of democratic decorum from the left, followed by a total factual demolition by Jim Jordan. First, let's talk about the setup. The Democrats' strategy here wasn't to debate the facts of the Twitter files. They couldn't do that because the data is clear. Instead, they attempted a coordinated character assassination. Calling independent journalists a direct threat to people who oppose them, that is a massive rhetorical escalation. Since when did reporting on government tech collusion make a journalist a physical threat? It's a textbook intimidation tactic designed to delegitimize the witnesses before they even utter their first word. But the real gotcha moment, the pivot that completely turned this hearing on its head, came when Jim Jordan brought the actual evidence. He pointed out that the Biden administration's FTC sent a letter to Twitter demanding to know the exact identities of the journalists involved in the leaks. Think about the gravity of that. The government wasn't asking about security protocols. They wanted the names of the reporters digging into their operations. Jordan's argument here is incredibly strong because it directly addresses the core issue of federal weaponization. It's not a conspiracy theory when you have the physical letters. When Jordan pressed the issue, saying, "You guys don't care, you don't want the American people to see what happened," it exposed the core contradiction of the modern left. They claim to love a free press, right up until that press holds them accountable. And how did the ranking member respond when confronted with these facts? She immediately tried to shut it down. Is this your question? Okay, well, let's get on with it. Classic. When you're losing the debate, try to change the rules of the game. Jordan's counterpunch was perfect. Oh, now we want to get on with it, so you can say all the things you want. It revealed a blatant double standard, where one side expects to launch massive personal attacks, but demands a swift transition to the next topic the second a Republican fights back with facts. Politically speaking, this exchange is going to stick with public opinion. It shows a Republican Party willing to stand up for genuine old-school journalism and civil liberties. By highlighting Matt Taibbi's history with Rolling Stone, Jordan brilliantly undermined the narrative that these witnesses are just partisan actors. The policy implication here is profound. If the federal government can use regulatory bodies like the FTC to flag and monitor journalists who expose state-sponsored censorship, then the First Amendment is effectively dead. At the end of the day, accountability won this round. The left wanted a lecture. Instead, they got a lesson. Drop a comment below and let me know who you think won this fiery exchange. We will see you on the next episode.